What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. And what's this? AVC uploaded on a Sunday and a Saturday? What's going on here? No, this is not a mistake by me or anything. The regular season's coming up, man. It's just around the corner. I'm excited about basketball, so want to give you guys a little bit more content to kind of lead us up to the regular season. I've got videos kind of already planned for next week or whatever, but I wanted to redraft the 2025 NBA rookie class after the preseason. Saw this article on Bleacher Report. I'm like, that's going to get some clicks. So let's do that. But anyway, before we jump into that, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. If you haven't already, go check out your favorite team or every other team's season preview. Get you ready for the season. Get to know the roster, salary cap situation, trade ideas, everything you need for your teams. I've got a bunch of other content starting to come out, and thank you for choosing me to spend your NBA regular season with. I know your time is valuable. But anyway, let's get into the article. All right. We got to get something out of the way with this. We got to get one thing out of the way before we redraft the 2025 NBA rookie class post the preseason. Let's make something very clear. I don't give a shit about this. I don't give a shit. Neither should you. Look, judging anybody off of preseason, judging your team after preseason, anything like that, don't do it, man. NBA teams, like, they're not even like really scouting their opponents or anything in these games. They're just trying shit out. Don't read into preseason. Like, please do not. But you know what? You knew that already because I've been spewing it in my videos for a while, and you still clicked on this video. You dirty little viewers. You couldn't help yourself. You saw this and you were like, well, I want to know where he puts my prospect. It wasn't even me. It's Bleacher Report. So just getting that out of the way. So if you have a really strong opinion on this, I don't know, man. Just go away. Just go away. Let's jump into this. I don't know. I think it's fun to see what people think just after preseason, though. But again, doesn't matter. Does not matter whatsoever. Let's start it off, though. The Dallas Mavericks, Cooper Flagg. Yeah, it's not going to change at all. I've obviously been watching preseason. You don't need to read into stuff too much. I know one of the big things people have been talking about with him is the defensive side of things when we were evaluating him. And by the way, none of my opinions have changed on any of these guys. They're still pretty much the same players they were when I evaluated them just a couple months ago professionally. So just leave it as is. Let's wait till we're like 20 games in before we get real hard thoughts on these guys. But what did I say about Cooper Flagg? Defense. That's going to be like the main thing coming in right away. His defensive instincts are awesome. I've seen some of that in the preseason already. Very, very cool. I think the offense will kind of come with time with him, but him still going number one to Dallas, not surprised there. If I could make a prediction to this, I'm going to guess Harper still goes 2, Edgecombe still goes 3, and they're just going to move Ace Bailey up to 4. That's going to be my guess. The San Antonio Spurs, Dylan Harper. Yeah, we haven't gotten to see like a ton of Dylan Harper, but one of the things that's been pointed out with him is all the different ball handling moves and how he's able to create space and stuff. Those are the things you heard AVC talk about a lot during the draft process. Most guards don't come in with as many moves as Dylan Harper has right away. And one thing that I do think is interesting, honestly, to point out, because I'll say I agree with this kind of assessment of things for the most part. A lot of people have said, wow, there's so many rookies in this class that just look more polished already than last year's class. And I would say that that's probably accurate. You guys know I thought very highly of this class, and the year before I was like, nope, it's not very good. I'm a very critical person when I do my draft analyses. I do it professionally for my company, right? For NBA teams, I'm very serious about this work. And I was like, last year's class, I just don't see it. I don't really see anything all that interesting. Don't get me wrong, there's guys, but I don't know about compared to the average class. Whereas this one, I'm like, man, a lot of these guys are kind of ready to go right now. And I'm not saying they're going to be studs, but pretty solid basketball players in this class. And so just something that we've seen is kind of the readiness of some of these guys, maybe looking a little bit more put together, right? But Dylan Harper still going 2. No surprises there whatsoever. I'll be curious to kind of see him kind of throughout this year. What does his role look like, right? Because so many other guards on the Spurs this year. VJ Edgecombe staying at number 3. His highlights are fun to watch in the preseason, isn't he? We talked about it. He's a 10.5 out of 10 athlete. That dude is quick and he can jump. I have a lot more thoughts on Edgecombe compared to a lot of the other prospects, just because, look, I don't really evaluate like high school talent anymore, and honestly, like, there's not much you can really do with it anyway. But this guy was playing kind of professionally a little bit earlier because of the Olympics and him playing for the Bahamas and stuff. So I got to see him a lot earlier, and I was like, wow, like, this kid's going to be in the draft the next year. Like, this kid's awesome. Like, I love the intensity. I love the defense. I think the shot making's actually pretty good, despite what a lot of people kind of said about him. Like, I think the three-point shot looks fine. I think the big thing for him this year is just going to be, okay, how do we kind of start to create for ourselves a little bit more? Because I think once we get that, we got a stud player on our hands. So excited to see more VJ Edgecombe. But all right, after 3, this is where it gets interesting. I'm guessing it's Ace Bailey. There's Ace Bailey. Yeah, the guy that probably should have gone number 4, but he kind of talked himself. Well, not he. His agent talked people out of taking him there. Yeah, dude's gotten buckets in the preseason, and it's been interesting to see kind of how the Jazz's kind of coaching staff and everything used him. I'm not surprised by how they're using him at all. They're literally just using him as a more mobile Michael Porter Jr. They're like, hey, you don't need to dribble the basketball. Just go around screens, have all the space in the world, and get your jump shot up, and it's falling, right? Great for him. Dude's getting buckets. I'm pretty sure he's leading rookies in scoring in preseason. Again, doesn't really fucking matter all that much. You guys know Ace Bailey was my favorite prospect coming in this year. I'm a big fan of his game. I think the talent is very, very obvious, and it's just going to be cool to see him with some actual... It is the Jazz, but some actual like NBA level talent around him this year. It's just going to look a lot cleaner, I think, than it did at Rutgers. So shout out him. So now, where does Khan fall to? The guy that originally was number 4. I'm going to guess, give me Trey Johnson next still. Yep, still Trey Johnson for the Jazz in this one. Well, not still, but Trey Johnson is kind of the 5th guy behind him. I feel like a lot of us felt like this is kind of the order that should have happened, right? I haven't seen much of Trey Johnson in preseason, if I'm being real with you. I can think of a couple highlights in my head where he's really just kind of forcing his shot, right? He's doing his whole Cam Thomas thing or whatever, but dude projects to be a good scorer in the NBA, so I think that's the only way that we should really look at him being above Khan right now. Sure, just from my evaluation alone, I would tend to agree with that, so I can see that one. Him being on the Jazz at this point, sure. I mean, why not? The Washington Wizards would take Khan Knippel then afterwards. Interesting. Are there people that we would put above Khan? I guess it's hard for me to think of all of them at once right now. I can think of a couple guys that I wouldn't be shocked to see them kind of jump up on the list a little bit more, that are like in the 20s specifically that I'm thinking about, but we'll see where they end up getting placed here. Khan Knippel, what are they saying here? The Wizards ranked 29th out of teams in three-point accuracy last year and would be thrilled to land Knippel. Is this really the type of guy you want? Like, maybe not as high of like upside and stuff like that in this if you did a redraft? I don't necessarily think so. He feels kind of like a Corey Kispert adjacent, right? Like, I think Khan Knippel probably has a little bit more upside than Corey Kispert does, but it feels like a bit of a redundancy, if you ask me. So I'm not sure that's the direction I would go with it. The New Orleans Pelicans, okay, here's our first jump. Jace Richardson. Okay, this is interesting. So I want to make, like, a point with this, right? Because, like, I'm not a big Jace Richardson guy necessarily in terms of, like, don't get it wrong, I'm rooting for the kid like crazy, right? I'm rooting for all these guys like crazy. I feel like I have to say that in every video because I know I'll get someone in the comments being like, AVC, you're such a fucking hater. Oh my god, I hate you, AVC. I'm like, whoa, y'all chose violence today. But I'm rooting for all these guys. Like, that should be clear. I didn't give Jace Richardson a great draft evaluation. There was a very specific reason why for it, and it was because I'm like, okay, he's like point guard like size, like he kind of has to guard like ones and primary ball handlers, but he can't do like primary ball handling things like on offense, and that's just a really hard fit. Players like that don't exist anymore. But he got drafted by a team, and we said this during the draft too. We're like, this is probably the best place for him to go because what he can do is catch and shoot and run off of screens, and the Magic need that, right? They need that, so you can have him guard opposing teams like primary ball handlers or whatever, and then on offense, like, fuck it, like Franz, Bane, and Paolo want the ball the whole fucking time anyway, so he can just go run off of screens and shoot him. Like, yeah, this is his best chance of doing it. That's perfect, right? And it looked pretty good in preseason. Good for him, right? He made some open shots, showed off his athleticism that he got from his pops at times. Still can't go to his right. Still can't go to his right. But again, it's just preseason. Nobody should give a shit. But shout out Jace Richardson, man. I'm not sure I would move him up to New Orleans. I think he's ended up in a very good spot that I think will give him the best chance for success in the short term. Jeremiah Fears, he's been getting buckets in preseason. When I watch him, and they're taking him over Yegor now, which Yeah, if they were gonna take a guard, right, it feels like that's the direction they probably should have gone more so. But whatever, they obviously Jeremiah Fears ended up going to New Orleans here. What have I seen out of him in preseason so far? Still, he's just doing what he did before. He gets downhill, right? I still don't see like the crazy athleticism that a lot of people said, and I'm still kind of waiting for it. There's moments where he looks like kind of quick. Feels like his feet don't get off the ground either. Like it feels like when he moves, like he hardly picks up his feet. But he's looked like calm and cool and collected, so awesome. I'm not surprised to see him not too far down on this list and everything. And by the way, again, I'm going to keep restating it. All my preseason evaluations, don't take it too much, right? Don't take it too much. Oh boy, Yang Hansen here, all the way up at 9 to the Toronto Raptors. Are we just going off of like fit alone? Because again, I'm going to say Maluach should 100% be here. But like, if we're talking about like the fit of Colin Murray Boyles, it didn't make any sense really why Portland took him. At least I can't understand it. Oh, here we go. The Toronto Raptors have done little this offseason to address their shooting woes. With Colin Murray Boyles, yeah, he was a bad shooter. Adding a poor outside shooting big to a front court of Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl was a questionable move at the time, and it doesn't look any more encouraging since. Again, don't care, but yeah, the fit didn't make a ton of sense to me. I wouldn't say that, like, he obviously doesn't fix, like, the shooting woes or anything in theory, but positionally, it's probably something that Toronto needs some help with, is someone behind Poeltl. So if you wanted to kind of swing for the upside here, sure, I'd rather go Maluach, like, 10 out of 10 times, but that's just me. That's just me. So, I don't know, that's my thought with that. The Suns taking Yegor. I guess, yeah, they're so desperate at kind of that primary ball handler position that makes some sense, especially, like, now that we know that they have, well, they would have known this, but they have Mark Williams, like, and Nick Richards, and it seems like Maluach, they're kind of treating him as maybe, like, the third one behind both of them, which I'm not surprised by at all. It feels like maybe then you could have gone for, like, another guard or something. I'm not as high on Yegor as like being a lottery pick even. That's just me. But it's a better positional fit, I suppose. Originally drafting Maluach made a lot of sense on draft night until the team ended up getting Mark Williams as well. Yeah, that was the weird thing, right? And cool, you got more talent and stuff, but I don't know. The fit now is a little bit more questionable. I like Maluach a lot. I think he's got a lot of potential in the NBA, so I guess we'll see. But positionally, sure, Yegor probably fits their more immediate needs a little bit more. The Grizzlies are sticking with Cedric Coward here. I have watched a lot of him in preseason because we don't have any other fucking film of this guy. I was actually talking to... I'm trying to figure out how much I can say of this stuff. I was talking to people that have worked very closely with Cedric Coward in recent years. Let's just put it that way, right? And I got to know like a bunch more kind of about like the situation he was in like last year and stuff like that, and obviously the injuries, with kind of what he's been working on in the meantime. But it's been cool to actually just get some film of him. Again, it's just preseason, so it's kind of just whatever. But it's cool to see him moving around on the court in like a basketball setting. Jump shot still looks awesome, right? What's been nice is he plays with like some good pace and stuff like that. Like he's never just like, oh, let's just go at the rim. He's got very much kind of a flow to his style so far, which I've enjoyed. We'll see if he can keep that up. But yeah, no, looks like a very competent, like, older player coming into the league already, and I like the fit with the Grizzlies when they took him, so I'm excited to see what he can do this year. I felt like maybe they stretched a little bit to get him in the draft, but I thought the fit made a lot of sense, so you can't knock him too much. The Bulls, my Chicago Bulls, getting Maluach. Oh, I would have been so much happier with this. Before they took Essengay, and you haven't seen much of him during preseason, which is a little bit worrisome if he's not even getting burned there. But again, the skill set's redundant. I didn't completely understand that pick, more so from the prospect standpoint. I like that they went with someone with more upside. It's just like, well, I don't get what the vision is. I don't get what the vision is with Noah especially. But Maluach, it's like, yeah, you're gonna need a center after Vucevic is gone, right? And you need someone to start building around. Maluach can probably be that dude. That would have been awesome if that would have happened. I'm quickly just realizing this article is just gonna bum me out about what I wish maybe would have happened. But regardless, is what it is. I would have liked to have had Malawach end up on the Bulls, but nonetheless, he is in Phoenix, and the little bit that we've gotten to see from him is just run, jump, and dunk, right? Run, jump, and dunk. That's all he needs to be right now. So shout out Malawach. 13, they're sticking with Derek Queen. Obviously, we haven't gotten to see him because he got hurt, which makes that trade look even scarier. Obviously, hope he gets back and he gets healthy and he can show his stuff or whatever. We don't know right now. We have no clue. They traded that pick to go get him. Hope it works out, Pelicans fans. I really, really do. So in this scenario, they would have taken Derek Queen and who? Who was the other person that they took? They would have taken Jace Richardson and him. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I probably would have still graded them really poorly because well, not necessarily, actually. The Pelicans might have actually been another team where Jace could fit, now that I think about it, because they have a lot of guys that kind of want the basketball as well. Whether it's Zion, who probably should just have the ball a little bit more, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, DeJounte Murray when he gets back. Okay, that fit might have actually kind of worked as well. Maybe, right? We don't know. These guys have yet to play like true NBA basketball yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Carter Bryant still going to the Spurs. Yeah, this just feels like the best place for him to develop. We all see the athletic talent and everything. We've all seen the stupid blocks that he can get. We knew this, right? 6'8", jumps out of the gym, solid shooting form and everything. We'll see if he gets to like really crack the rotation at all this year. I know Spurs fans are already penciling him in for a max contract extension in 4 years, which probably chill the fuck out on. I think I like the talent. I think you can get something pretty good out of him. But yeah, I don't know. We'll get to see how much he really gets to contribute here. I don't see why the Spurs wouldn't still pick him, knowing what we know now about all these prospects. So makes sense. Positional need, long-term potential. Very cool. The Thunder, Colin Murray-Boyles. This is where we said he should go. He should have gone as well, actually. Just because they need more size kind of at the forward position, and they're the one team that maybe could have utilized his skill set a little bit better. It's not an easy fit with him regardless, because he doesn't play a very NBA-style game. At least that's not how he played in college. But it's hard to say. They ended up taking Thomas Sorber instead, who tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for this whole season. Topic is like already out for a little bit as well, so we're basically just going to see the exact same lineup that the Thunder threw out last year. But Murray-Boyles, I think, would he be a better... I like Sorber better as a prospect, personally. I'm not saying Sorber is going to be like some dog or anything. I very much struggle to see like Murray-Boyles contributing like in a meaningful way in an NBA offense, because I feel like he needs to have the ball so much in order to do it. I hope I stand corrected with that. I really do. Again, rooting for all these guys, but I don't know, just my take on it more. So I think defensively, like he's cool. So I love the energy that he plays with. So I guess we'll see. The Portland Trailblazers, then they would take Thomas Sorber. So still kind of going for the big man here. Doesn't make sense to me. One of the criticisms that we had of them taking Yang Hansen here was like, you just took Klingon, and Klingon looks pretty good. Why are you going and taking another fucking center now? You need shooters and other shit like that, and like wing players and guys to support like Scoot Henderson and stuff. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Obviously, we're not going to get to see Sorber play this year. I did think he went like maybe a little bit high, but him ending up in the Thunder just instantly makes you feel better about it, because they tend to just do a good job with their prospects. But I don't know why in this situation Portland would take him. I'm trying to think of like who else has kind of fallen in this class that I'd rather see the Trailblazers take. Really just any guy that's like hitting from the outside or something. Fucking maybe throw like a Neat Clifford in there or something. That's probably not the worst thing. That's maybe not as much upside, but you got a lot of young guys with some upside already. So I don't know. That's what I'd say. The Timberwolves, Walter Clayton Jr. Yeah, that would be a much better pick right now. The Timberwolves need some primary ball handlers on this team and some creators and guys like that, guys that can be a spark plug. Rob Dillingham, still probably not quite ready to go yet. I don't know how much you want to put Bones Highland on the court. I wouldn't do more than like 10-ish minutes in a game. Just let him run out there and go chuck up a couple shots and see what happens. Clayton would be nice. I feel like Clayton you can throw out there right away. We've already seen a little bit with the Jazz. They're giving him a lot of minutes this year. Makes a lot of sense. You guys know I was pretty high on the prospect of him in the sense where can be a primary ball handler. He knows how to play without the ball as well. Good shooter, just smart guy, sneaky athlete as well. So I like him. It feels like more of a positional need for Minnesota. I was pretty shocked they took Joan with the pick. I was like, really? Like, we're thinking that long-term about a Rudy replacement already. Like, we're kind of trying to win basketball games right now, and I feel like we could start to kind of incorporate that if we really needed to. So I was surprised by that pick, but I like the Walter Clayton pick here. I think that would have been better. Oh yeah, here's Essengay. He has fallen now to the Jazz, which positionally, I guess they could use forwards and stuff, and if you want to go long-term potential, fine. In this redraft, the Jazz were forced to take Trey Johnson with Ace Bailey off the board. This team should be looking for a wing to pair with its new shooting guard. Sure, Essengay has struggled in the preseason. Again, I don't really care all that much. It doesn't really change my opinion on the prospect. Yet he has enough upside for the Jazz to warrant taking him here. Yeah, the Jazz are in a position where they can take someone like him. Why not? Is a tandem of Johnson and Essengay better than Bailey and Walter Clayton? Probably not. Yeah, Jazz fans should be happy with their real-life draft outcome. I'd say so. I thought the Jazz did great during the draft. So that's my opinion on it. But I can see the logic with this one. 19, the Brooklyn Nets, Joan Beranger. So who have they taken already in this? So this was Nolan. I'd still take Nolan. Who did they take so far in this redraft, right? That's something that I need to familiarize myself with. So that before they took Fears, okay, so yeah, ideally you wouldn't take another guard like they did, so I guess I can warrant the Joan one. Is it wrong that I like Danny Wolf like still more? I know I evaluate Danny Wolf and put him above Joan, but like I just move Danny Wolf up and still take him here. I think he's interesting. I like the skill set that he brings, and it's just a dynamic look that you don't get out of a lot of bigs, so I think Joan is interesting. Obviously, he's very raw right now. He's still kind of trying to get his legs under him. I can tell that he's not used to getting hit quite as hard as he has been up to this point. So it's going to take some time, but he's still very fresh in the basketball world. So nothing to be like all that concerned about. He's a long-term project for Minnesota, but Brooklyn taking him here after they've taken Fears, I mean, sure, it's not I could understand it. I can totally understand it, but yeah, that's number 19. 20, Yakachonis. I'm surprised we haven't seen him up the board. Like, I could see Minnesota taking him here over Clayton. Where else could we reasonably see him go? They already took a guard, so I guess maybe he still slides just because of how things kind of worked out in this class. Oh, Phoenix, I got him taken. I got to take my boy Yakachonis over Yegor. That is for sure. Okay, that's just me though. That's just my thoughts. One thing that I've really liked out of like just seeing these guys that you watched all this college film, right? And then you get them in the NBA settings and you quickly realize, and I hope you all realize this too, there's just so much more space. There's so much more space and guys know where to be on the basketball court. It makes it so easy. We've seen him get these like crazy assist numbers in preseason already. Again, just preseason, but this guy, he gets it, right? He can read the NBA game. There's more space. He can actually get all of his passes through. He's got guys that know where to be on the court. This guy in a structured Miami Heat system, I think is going to thrive. So I'm excited about Yakachonis being in Miami. And Kello Ware loves him. Like in the preseason, man, those two are just going at it with each other. It's just, all right, pick and roll, let's do it, man. And it's a cool combo or whatever. But we'll see what translates and what doesn't. But I love the pick. I think Miami's got a good one with him. Tyrese Proctor, our first second round guy sliding up. We said a lot during the pre-draft process where like Proctor could be a sleeper guy, and he definitely has gotten to show his stuff in the preseason because of some injuries and stuff like that. I wouldn't say like crazy like bag or anything like that he's working with, but he's good at keeping guys off balance and getting into his shot. He can play with or without the basketball. He's a big, strong guy, which is nice for his position. This was originally a Will Riley pick. So him being up higher, I don't really care about these like fits quite as much at this point, because in this world, the Wizards would have taken they would have taken Khan, and then they would have taken Tyrese Proctor as well. Kind of interesting, I suppose. But yeah, it's cool to see Proctor kind of sliding up this. He's going to get more and more opportunities with some of the early injuries that Cleveland has, and I think he'll be an okay role player this season. He might have some ups and downs, and he seems like he wants the ball quite a bit, which is probably because that's what he's used to, but we'll see. I like Proctor, man. I'm a fan. And that's the thing, man. This class was deep. We were able to go into the mid-second round at times and be like, I kind of like this prospect, man. I think you could really do something with him. Whereas realistically, normally after about 25-ish prospects, I usually tend to lose a lot of interest. So great draft class. Drake Powell still ending up here. I don't have much of a take on Drake Powell still. I feel like he's still just doing the same shit he was in college. And again, my takes on these people haven't changed much at all. I'm more so, I guess, saying that I haven't seen much of Drake Powell. I feel like I saw like a fast break dunk and maybe him hit an open 3-pointer or something like that. I don't know. What are we saying? The Brooklyn Nets have already selected Jeremiah Fears and Joan Berenger in our draft, so keeping the two-way wing Powell here makes sense. I guess depends on who else is on the board. Powell has elite defensive potential. I don't know about elite, but I see what you mean. 6'6" size and athleticism. He's probably never going to be a big-time scorer. I agree with you there. That's okay. Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. should be more than happy to take some extra shots. Well, I don't know if they're around long-term, but I get what you're saying. So Drake Powell there, fine. I thought he was maybe a bit of a reach, but whatever. Asa Newell, all the way down here. I guess he hasn't gotten like a ton of burn in the preseason, right? Just because it feels like the Hawks, and I don't actually know these numbers to be true. It feels like the Hawks have rolled with their rotation like a little bit more than some of the other teams in the preseason. That's probably because they have a lot of new players, so they're kind of trying to get them out, get them some reps, and kind of see what's going on, right? So Asa kind of fitting his way into, or Asa, however the fuck you say it. You guys know I'm shitty with names. It's going to be tough for him to crack the rotation. There's a lot of other kind of interesting bigs on the roster long term. I'm a fan of him. The fact that the Hawks got him at the pick they did is great. If they got him again in this redraft, I think that's cool. I think he's a really dynamic kind of two-way big in a lot of ways and can potentially play all three levels offensively. So I don't know. I like the prospect a lot. Let's see. 3-point shooting will continue to be a concern as he followed up in the preseason games. Yeah, it doesn't matter right now. He doesn't have to be able to do that right now. Just be run, jump, and dunk for right now. We'll work on the 3-point shot because there's potential for it. So I like that. The King, this is one I'm surprised hasn't slid up at all, because Nick Clifford has been probably like the only interesting thing in the Kings preseason, right? There's been times where the Kings offense, and again, preseason, gonna try not to read into it too much, right? I feel the need to keep saying this, otherwise you will forget and you will comment something stupid. You probably still will, you dum-dums. But the Kings offense has looked bad. It just hasn't looked very good, right? It looks so disjointed and everything, and I think a lot of us expect that. But he's kind of like bailing them out of possessions and stuff, because we saw in college, like, he was that dude. He's all right, give me the ball. I can go get to my shot. Like, I can be comfortable with it, play with a little bit of pace. I'm a good athlete. I got some size, some strength. I can get where I need to go and kind of create for myself. And he's been doing that quite a bit in there. And so I'm surprised that like more people aren't like kind of shocked to see that and they didn't like move him up the board a little bit more. So I feel like I'd take him over Drake Powell in an instance, like over Tyrese Proctor. Yeah, I'm taking him, like over Joan, over Essengay, like 100%. Like, I mean, Sorber's injured, but like I like Nick Clifford more than Sorber. I like him more than Murray Boyles. The upside of Carter Bryant with the Spurs makes more sense to me, but and Cedric Coward's looked comparable, I'd say, if we're just basing it off of like preseason stuff, I suppose. But like, surprised to not see him higher on here. I think he's going to be a nice role player kind of right away for the Kings. Chaz Lanier. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really seen much of Chaz Lanier, so this is interesting to me. Sorry, Orlando Magic fans. Jace Richardson is just too good of a prospect to fall this far again. This roster still needs shooting ability, though, and Chaz Lanier's strong preseason play proves he should have been selected higher than the early second round. Well, he was a shot maker in college, that's for sure. He ranks third among all rookies this preseason and made threes, and is making 41.7% of his looks for a Magic team. Okay. Fair enough. I haven't watched really any of the film or anything on the Pistons, I suppose, so I can't really speak on Chaz too much. In my evaluation of him, we had him as a second round talent for sure, so I don't know. I'd be curious to kind of watch that. Let me know your thoughts, Let me know your thoughts if you have stronger opinions on that. Brooklyn Nets, Will Riley. I feel like I haven't gotten to see much of Will Riley really either, and I know that the Wizards have a lot of people they're trying to get on the court right now, so he's not really guaranteed any minutes this year. But this was originally Ben Seraph, so we're trying to save the Nets from taking all guards again. That would be nice. The Brooklyn Nets have already taken Fears, Berenger, Drake Powell, so yeah, it makes sense to take another wing in this case. I find Will Riley to be an interesting prospect. He's got, whenever you see 6'8" guy that can handle the rock a little bit and maybe shoot a little bit, we all get excited, right, and wet ourselves. So I still have that opinion of him. I think it's going to be somewhat of a longer road, but that's okay. That's how most prospects are. And if you have that philosophy with the 26th overall pick, I think you got a pretty good value, thinking you can get something out of those guys. So I like it. I like the Will Riley selection there for Brooklyn. Even though, again, I feel like I haven't seen much of him. He's averaging 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists on 50% shooting. Oh, okay, cool. Nice preseason. Danny Wolf going in the exact same spot. What are we saying about him? He's versatile enough as a point center to play with any lineup combination, and he averaged 8 points, 4 rebounds, blah, 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 61% shooting in just 13 minutes. That's pretty damn good. That's what I'm saying. I feel like in all the clips I've seen, I saw the same sparks that I saw out of him. Like, again, all these guys look like exactly the same to me as they did in college. It's just now they're around better basketball players. And I'm like, yeah, I see this like fluidity and the vision and some of the shot making and stuff. I really like Danny Wolf, man. I think he's a bit of a steal. So I guess if this is the Nets' 5th first-round pick again, sure, I'm glad they continue to have him, but I feel like someone else could use him. That's just me, though. Ryan Kalkbrenner. This guy is the subject of getting minutes, right? That's kind of it right here. We actually just get to see Kalkbrenner play. The Hornets don't really have any centers. Musa getting a lot of minutes and looking fine, productive, working his ass off, getting a lot of offensive rebounds. Kalkbrenner is going to get minutes out of necessity, right? And I'm going to be honest, when I watch him, I see the exact same thing I saw in college. He's just tall. He's tall. Like, he's not that, like, coordinated. I don't know if he's doing anything all that crazy out there. He's not being guarded at all, that's for sure. But he's tall. So he's going to block some shots, and he's going to put the ball in around the rim if he's there. So there you go. That's Ryan Kalkbrenner to me. So I think he's maybe being inflated a little bit just because he actually is getting on the court more than a second-round pick. But fair enough. No Hugo Gonzalez here, right? I get the Celtics need a big man, though, so I guess that's why they're putting him here. Not going to put like a Yannick there or anything. Again, I think we're inflating his numbers, or even like a Maxime Reynaud, something like that. Wouldn't mind seeing them kind of fall into this place here for Kalkbrenner, but that's just, again, me kind of going off of my draft evaluations. The Hornets instead get Yannick. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. I'd much rather have him. I think the talent of Yannick is a lot higher than Kalkbrenner. He's just getting the opportunity to play right now. So just my opinion. Again, should be a nice, like, defensive guy. I'm not sure how much burn he's going to get this year unless, like, Zubats or Brook Lopez actually, like, gets hurt for any little bit of time. But nice rookie to kind of have waiting in the wings in Los Angeles. I think he's going to get a good chance to develop. And so if this is who Charlotte got with their other pick, I'd feel pretty good about this. This is where they took McNeely before, which I didn't quite understand that pick. So I don't know, but maybe it's a culture move more so than anything else, because I do think Yannick needs to have a little bit more of a work ethic instilled in him. That's just me, though. Ben Serif going here. His assist numbers have been pretty crazy in the preseason, right? The Clippers would get to see their original draft pick go a spot above him. I'd still like to see him take a big with this one, so I'd rather see like Reynaud or something like that. The idea of getting a 6'6" point guard and Serif in the building and letting him learn behind James Harden is too intriguing to pass up. Sure. Los Angeles desperately needs offensive talent to build behind its grizzled veterans, so Serif would be a steal. What have we seen out of him so far? Still just kind of jitterbug energy. I think he makes some incorrect reads at times, but again, he's young, playing with a very young team. That's going to happen with young guards, so I'm not tripping about it whatsoever. I like the intensity he plays with. Him and Nolan are like complete opposites, it feels like, right now, and what they can actually contribute at an NBA level. So I'm kind of curious to see how those two kind of battle going forward and what spots they end up with. But anyway, I don't know. I just thought this was a fun little activity. Try not to read too much into this, but this is kind of a very early assessment of kind of the rookie class and everything, right? So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, like more so about like your favorite team. Like, are you feeling comfortable with like the guy that's on your team right now? If you enjoyed watching them is probably more so the important thing right now. Do you think they'll be in the rotation for the regular season? Like, what do we think is going to change kind of when we actually start tipping the ball up and we're 15 games in or something? That's what I'm curious to hear about. But anyway, I appreciate you guys as always. Leave me a comment down below. Speaking of comments, let's move on to the comment of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment of the video is coming from our which NBA teams have the best future video, so go watch that if you haven't already. Again, go watch the season preview videos and all the other stuff we're posting right now, getting ready for the regular season starting up on Tuesday, I believe. The comment of the video comes from Cohen Teeter here, who is a frequent commenter on the channel. Most people at this time of the year are. That said, hey, the Bears won 3 in a row after last night's game. Can't say how many times the Bulls will do that this year, though. So for those maybe not American, the Chicago Bears are our American football team, and it is just as an abysmal process as being a Chicago Bulls fan. It is horrible. But The Bears have won 3 in a row, and the team is getting better. I can't remember the last time like the Bears won close games like they have recently. So at the time you guys are seeing this, the Bears are going to play later today. So leave me a comment if the Bears like win again, or if they lose. Just either pump me up or beat the shit out of me with sadness. Whatever you really feel like doing, that's entirely up to you. But as always, thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you want to have more great basketball conversations, go join the Discord. Link is down in the description below. Should have 5 videos coming out to you guys this week as we kind of start the regular season, and I'm working on getting a couple like reoccurring film series together for you guys this year. I feel like these videos are probably going to get demonetized more so than anything, so we're going to try them out, see if people really like them. If they really like them, then we'll kind of keep them going and stuff, because I don't really care about financials that much. I'd rather just get more people on the channel right now. But for the time being, I appreciate you guys, and let's get ready for the regular season. Have a great rest of your weekend, and avoid those Sunday scaries. Tell your Nana I said hello. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.